So if you've seen American Graffiti, directed by George Lucas, yeah, that George Lucas, then you might know one of the main characters in the movie was a young man named Terry Fields, nicknamed Toad, played by the actor Charles Martin Smith. Some of the things he does in the movie include backing up a car into another car and taking off. He's the character who flashes the flashlight to start the drag race near the end. And he's a witness to a liquor store robbery after trying to buy alcohol while underage in what's probably one of the funnier scenes in the movie. Now that we mentioned that, let's talk about the little known, or rather lesser known, sequel to American Graffiti, which was More American Graffiti, which followed some of the characters. George Lucas did not direct or write the script for More American Graffiti, but he was credited as an executive producer. Now this film follows some of our likable characters as a couple of years have passed and that sort of thing. It doesn't all take place over the course of one night like the original classic does. And while American Graffiti is a highly regarded classic and was very well received by both audiences and critics, More American Graffiti was not. And I guess I thought this might be an okay topic for this channel because it is something of a car channel, and American Graffiti has become a very well-known, well-liked car movie. And it also features a catchy tagline, "Where were you in '62? So at the end of the first American Graffiti, we get a little synopsis, epilogue thing for the characters. It talks a little bit about what happens to them later in life. John Milner, the character, the drag racer guy who drives around the 32 Ford, I believe. You know, they say how he was later killed by a drunk driver, and they say how Toad was reported missing in action in Vietnam. You know, reported missing in action, presumed dead, probably, to a lot of people who saw the movie, although it doesn't say that. So I've not seen More American Graffiti all the way, but I have watched snippets of it, and I also was highly disappointed when I learned more about the movie and found out what Toad's fate was. This young man that we saw, experience this night in his life and then grew to like him, and then we hear how, he was killed or missing in action in Vietnam, like a lot of young men from his generation. Well, in the sequel, he is serving in Vietnam. To make a long story short, gets disgruntled with, being in the army, being in this war. He's being treated poorly by his commander. And so he fakes his death and becomes a deserter. Yeah, there are some details to how that happened, but that's the bottom line. He fakes his death and becomes a deserter. And I guess his fate is We're supposed to take it that missing in action maybe because they didn't find a body. And I just gotta say, even though Charles Martin Smith, the actor, still gives a very likable performance of Toad, this twist on the character's fate is an asinine plot twist. And if George Lucas approved this in his role as executive producer, then shame on him. That's a slap in the face to fans of the original who were moved by hearing what happened to him after reading the epilogue. That's probably enough said. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.